You better not shout, you better not cry. Nvidia's getting socked in the eye because AMD 7970's in town. It's on a 28 nanometer process, 230 watts, and that is right. It's only $550. I bet you want one here tonight. So you guys all know, today is the day that AMD's new reference design HD 7970 hits the market. Today we're only allowed to release specs and scores based off a reference design card. We actually received a partner card, but those cards aren't allowed to be released until the 9th of January. So what we did is we just basically locked it all down, gave you guys the specs, but we actually used our partner card, which is clocked at the same speeds and everything as a reference card, to get these scores, and we tested it head to head against the GTX 580, which it's set to compete with. Right off the bat, we can see that the card is clocked at 925 megahertz. This gives the card 3.79 teraflops of theoretical computing performance compared to the 2.7 teraflops of the much different VL1 W4 architecture that the 6970 had. The new 384-bit GDDR5 memory bus adds for additional clock speeds. So now you see the 7970 at 1.375 gigahertz, a 5.5 gigahertz data rate, giving it a 246 gigabyte a second of memory bandwidth, which is a significant jump over the previous 176 gigabytes a second that we saw on the 6970. Along with this new 384-bit memory interface, we also get a whopping 3 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. This will help an application that use multi-monitors and also where games can take advantage of that much memory, such as Battlefield 3. Some other things to really take a look at are the new 8-ROP partitions. These ROP partitions can process 32 ROPs per clock cycle. It also features 128 texture units, which are divided up among 32 comp units, or CUs as the terminology goes. We also see a new fixed function pipeline that contains a pair of AMD's 9th generation geometry engines for overall superpower. Now, taking a look at the rear I/O, we're going to notice that there are 2 display ports, a single HDMI port, and then a dual link DVI port. This will support 3D and also 2 monitors. I've only actually had the card for a couple of days, so our preliminary tests are only going to be against this card, against the GTX 580. Let's jump right in and see how she does. So you guys have seen the specs, and now you've seen the performance as well. Some key points that I really want to make just very clear here. AMD is the very first company to have a card based on the new TSMC 28 nanometer process. That's a thumbs up there. The fact that it does that and takes less wattage, the card actually runs cooler. So what are you getting for $550? You get a card that does beat the GTX 580 between 15 and 40% depending on the application. It actually runs cooler and it's the same price level. So I say it's a win. Battlefield 3 is the game that everybody's talking about. You guys have seen now the GTX 580, the 3 gigabyte version. It does improve things significantly in Battlefield 3, but this card by itself beats every game hands down, and in Battlefield 3 shows exceptional performance levels, which is I really think what AMD was trying to get. I give those guys an editor's choice and a hats off here at Christmas time for being the first one to hit the market with this new process and new card. Thanks for watching.